Hello, Jane.
Hi, Kornelia.
So welcome everyone. Welcome to Therapeutic Thursdays with Kornelia. Today our special guest is Jane Bulbeck, my dear friend as well. And today's subject is, what does Kundalini Yoga has to do actually with aesthetics? For some of us it can be a little bit confusing, not really related, but I know, Jane, you are a specialist, you are a skin specialist as well. You have your salon in Chichester and you do skin treatments, but you are also a Kundalini Yoga expert. We will talk about it. How does it combine together? Tell us about yourself, about your treatments, your skin treatments, what you're doing, what treatments are you doing? Okay, first of all.
Okay, so I've kind of been in the beauty business for some 36, 37 years, and I have gone on to be a specialist in skin, and I do a lot of things such as the wow facial, microneedling, resurfacing, all that kind of thing, and treat a lot of rosacea. And linking skin to health, basically, at the end of the day, because as far as I'm concerned, the most aging thing is stress. If you haven't got your stress under control, you know, your skin is going to age. It doesn't matter what we do in clinic, if your stress levels are through the roof, we're going to really struggle to get those results. You know, it's going to have such a massive effect on the gut, you know, so inflammation in the gut, and age the skin, you know, and disease is disease. That's what it is. So obviously every time we are having a negative emotional thoughts, our body is releasing chemicals which are attacking the body. You know, it's not healthy. So not only is it going to have a massive effect on the skin, it's going to have a huge effect on your overall health and your longevity, really. And there's, you know, there's more to life, isn't there, than living a stressful, overwhelmed life. And I think in today's world, we're in what they call the Aquarian age, which we went into on the 11th of November 2011. We live in such a fast-paced life. You know, what once we learnt 6,000 years to learn, we're learning in 10 years. And what we learned in 10 years now, we're learning in 1 year. So we are being bombarded non-stop. So we kind of need tools, really, in order for us to navigate life and all the things that we commit to, because we have so many opportunities that come our way as people that we want to say yes to everything. And you know, women want to be mothers, they want to have a career, they want to work on themselves, they want to discover who they are. Like, so it's about learning to balance. So being a skin specialist is brilliant because I've got my A board outside saying all the things that I treat, plus all the treatments that I do.
Yeah.
So they initially come in to see me about their skin. But once we start chatting, you know, I find out so much more about them. And then it's like, okay, well, I need to learn, I feel, more skills myself in order to help more people, not just achieve their skin goals, but to improve the quality of their life. And in turn, you know, running a business, as you know, it at times can be a very overwhelming, lonely, tiresome job. You know, as much as we love it, it is a very challenging at times. So I also need those tools in order for me to navigate life. So I can run it.
Yeah. Now we start to talk with the patients and they doing consultation, and we come always on a subject like our personal life, their personal life, and it definitely always links to the stress level that they have to deal with. So we have already one in common thing that basically the patients bring us on this, that we want to take care of their well-being, not only basically on the look. It's not only about the look. It's not only about the fillers, the treatments that you do, that I'm doing, but we definitely find a link to the stress level, that if it's lowered, we feel better and we therefore look better as well. Yes. So
yeah,
we could say we extend the results of our treatments by taking care of their well-being. Yes.
totally.
So how does your journey actually, because you are not only skin specialist, but you also are expert in Kundalini Yoga, which is different to yoga, which I experienced myself as well, which was a great experience and something very different. So could you tell us what is actually Kundalini about? What does it mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and how did your journey start basically as well?
Yeah. Throughout my life, really, I've had my ups and downs with life. You know, I've had problems with eating disorder, stresses, you know, all sorts of things that a lot of women and men go through. So throughout my life, since I was in my 20s, I've tried lots of different things. You know, I've done transcendental meditation, I've done Tai Chi, I've had healing, which I'm a massive fan of. I've done what else? Qigong, Reiki, which again I'm really into. So I've tried a lot of things. And my accountant from my last business became a Kundalini Yoga teacher. So I went along to support her, really.
Oh, okay.
And the minute I went, I was hooked, because I'm a busy person. I need something that comes in, gets the job done. And what I love about Kundalini is one session of Kundalini will stay with you the whole week. It's not something you have to go to a class all the time. One Kundalini session, which is an hour and a half, is the equivalent to 10 hours of Hatha yoga.
Oh, wow. But it sounds like really exhausting, 1.5 hours. Would you say it is exhausting? It is like, you know, do we sweat? Do we need to sweat out something? Because most of the people, I believe, they think about exercise, like physical exercise, which is actually not, isn't it?
No. I mean, that's the ego, really. The Kundalini is all about the self. You know, an hour and a half out of your day, once a week, is nothing. But it's not boot camp. It's not bindi bendy. It's all about energy and the connection to our true, authentic self, that inner being inside, that almost complete whole being that has the answers to everything. It's getting in tune with that person within us all. We like to, you know, like you could say, to the God within ourselves. And the problem is, because of life and being so busy, we lose track of that person, that calm person, the neutral person. It's about working on our neutral mind. So we are not so affected by what people say, people's behaviors, ourselves. We put so much pressure on ourselves.
Sorry, it doesn't come very often, you know, in a common language, the neutral mind.
Neutral mind.
I think we need to point that out, because
I
heard that first myself as well, and I'm in yoga for years. So this is something specific, and when you think about it, it's really important, and it can benefit us a lot, right?
Massively, because you have a positive mind, you have a negative mind, and you have a neutral mind.
Okay.
It's about tapping into the neutral. So the negative mind is your brakes.
Yeah.
The positive mind wants to go and do everything.
Yeah.
You need something to, like, almost the parent with the child. The child's excited and wants to go off and run. The parent grounds it. It brings it down to reality a bit. It's the same. Your neutral mind is almost like your parent. So you can observe the positive mind, the positive aspect of a thought. You can observe the negative aspect of the thought, but then you can make a decision based on observing both and being neutral. The problem is we're so critical of ourselves. You know, we are our worst enemies, really.
Yeah.
You know, that our worst critic. Exactly. So a quote that I once saw, you know, in the highest form of intelligence is to be able to observe yourself without judgment. And I think we put so much pressure on ourselves that if we can look at ourselves in a much more neutral way, where going a bit more with the flow, really, and not worrying about outcome, just making the right choices, not based on fear or overabundance or being over keen to do something, being able to step back from a situation and go, let me analyze this logically without the emotional. Do you see what I mean? It's about making decisions in life like that. We all get caught up in things, and to have that more of a calm presence where you can just detach from the noises in your head, you know, on your shoulder.
Yes. Well, I'm thinking we should also not only think about ourselves, but about the others as well. And it's about perceiving others as well with neutral mind.
Yes.
Which you've done with me very well.
Without judging others as well, you know, because we are becoming very quick to judge.
It makes the world so much better, isn't it? Well, we rush to judgment very quickly, and this is also provoking the high stress level in our lives as well. So this is something you teach. It's basically, it's nothing to do with psychology. It's more to do with energy, but it's very psychological point to it as well.
It is psychology, really, isn't it? It's about being the best possible version of yourself that you can be, and living more in a state of bliss. But, you know, we are spiritual beings living a human life, basically, and we have a lot, you know, so you're not going to go through life all and flatlining, because that would be a bit dull, wouldn't it? You need the peaks and the troughs. You need that, you know.
Overdone ladies, right, with the big lips and big cheeks. I can imagine. They having this flat life because there's nothing much more to their life. And I usually have patients, they like to look natural, but still healthy. And you know, not overdone. So that's because I'm doing fillers and Botox. This is mostly related to these treatments. And I want to point out one more time that this is actually very important as well, so they feel good inside, so they can bring it on outside and come every day, get up with a smile on it.
And gratitude, and also being able to look at themselves and like what they see in the mirror. You know, it's nice to come to you and have that, you're enhancing what they've already got. But, you know, you see beautiful women sometimes and they have no confidence in themselves. So, you know, what we're doing with skin and with yoga and meditation and tools, whatever tools they use, whatever they decide to do, to find as a tool, it just helps them feel better about themselves, you know.
Like we spend from inside, right? And
then inner glow.
Yes. Well, I think that's amazing. That's amazing what you're doing, and that's amazing that you have the skills to bring it out from all the girls. So do you think everyone can do Kundalini Yoga? Is it for beginners? Is it for somebody who never touched yoga?
It's for everyone. It's for absolutely everyone. It really is. But again, it depends what resonates with you, doesn't it? There's so many different disciplines that people can do. You find what resonates with you. But because you've got the self and then you've got the ego, and the ego loves to sabotage. It loves to go, oh, you look silly doing that, or, oh, I'll go and have another hour in bed, or, oh no, go down the pub tonight, it's going to be fun. You know, you'll find lots of excuses not to go along to a class, to do something that makes you feel better about yourself. It's quite funny, actually. You know, I've done it myself. I know exactly what it's like. But I think it's about finding what works for you, really. You know, it might not, it is for everyone, but you might prefer Tai Chi, you might prefer transcendental meditation. You know, I've got people that come to my class that do different forms of meditation, but they love being in a class together. You know, we do breath work, we learn to breathe properly.
Exactly.
You know,
can I stop you there? The breath is so important in Kundalini. And I think it's also very much related to the well-being of our skin.
Yeah.
So it's natural for us, and it's obvious in a medical work that breath brings oxygenates the blood, and we also make the blood circulation flow faster, flow smoother. So therefore, the skin is also much healthier, right? And here in Kundalini Yoga, we do some different breathing. We actually, I remember you mentioning that most of the people don't know how to breathe.
This,
right?
That's right.
So I do have a picture of you from the Gozo retreat, but I don't want to mess up the life right now. Could you shortly demonstrate the fire breath?
Fire breath, yes, which is really, really detoxing. So it's a pump, really. So you're going to, a lot of breath work we do in Kundalini is the nose, because the nose is where a lot of, you've got the masculine and the feminine energy. It's connected to the hypothalamus, which speaks to the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is the master gland governing all the other glands. You know, we work very closely with the glandular system and the nervous system in Kundalini. And one of the breaths, which again, as I said, is very detoxing. So you breathe in through the nose, and then you pump the navel. So you're really, really pumping it. So as I said, very, very detoxing. But what happens in the Western world, because we're taught to hold our tummies in, we can't possibly have them poking out. You know, it doesn't look right, does it, in our fitted dresses and skirts? You know, I understand that. But in the class, we let that belly go, because when the belly expands, the diaphragm, which is a muscle, is able to work. It pulls the diaphragm down. It expands the lungs. When we breathe so shallowly, which we do in the Western world, you know, that is how we breathe. We only breathe from here. That diaphragm is not, you know, like I said, it's a muscle. It's not being used like it needs to be used. I mean, I was a runner back in the day, and I learned to belly breathe back then, because you can run far more efficiently when you belly breathe, because you're getting more oxygen in. You know, it's like, you know, the balloons in the jar, when you pull down the band at the bottom, you know, when it's the diagram of the diaphragm, you know, and you see them blow up. And then when we exhale in Kundalini, we squeeze our navel back, pushing the air out, you know, because as we know, the lungs are large. There's lots of sacs in there and stagnant air, and they're not getting used. You know, like I said, we're breathing up here all the time. And shallow breathing is connected with anxiety.
Oh, wow, that's very interesting. I think not many people know about this. And there's also this breath. Is it only the breathing and the postures that we're doing? We're actually not doing very much of physical exercise in Kundalini Yoga, but some movements and some chanting that it's said brings the awakening. So what is the awakening about?
Okay, so there's about
this.
There's about 15,000 different sets of exercise for Kundalini Yoga. It's huge. There's a lot of physical moves in Kundalini, a lot.
Okay.
The classes you've been to have been, you know, designed more for beginners, but there are some really challenging things. But what it is basically, within us is an energy, and it lies dormant. We have energy centers which go up the body. There are 8, 7, and then your 8 is your aura, your energy field. A lot of our energy stays in these lower centers, you know, So we want to get that energy moving, because each energy center represents a gland, an organ, that part of the body. So, for example, your root energy center, you know, that's about being grounded, feeling connected. So if that's out of balance, your shadow side to that is you don't feel supported. You're feeling unconnected. So we want everything to work in harmony, and you want the energy to flow. You know, the chi, you might have heard it's chi, you know, like acupuncture. That's what it is, bringing the energy. You know, you're cold. What do? You rub your hands. You're bringing the energy. If you've got a headache, you put your hand there, don't you? It's automatic. Yeah. You've got a bad tummy, you put your hand there. It's instinct. You're bringing energy. So in Kundalini, we do the exercises to get up the spine, to get the energy rising, because these are our, like I said, the pituitary gland. This is our master gland, and our glands are the guardians to our health. That is why we work so closely on working with the glandular system.
So it's not about physical strength, but it's about the energetic strength.
It's about physical strength as well, because the ego would go, oh, that's really hurting. Oh, my arms have got to come down. Oh, that really aches. It's about going through that. You know, it's probably really closely linked to something like Kung Fu. You know, when you do those martial arts, it's energy, isn't it? You're going, like when you're chopping those bricks, you are making that sound. The energy is coming through the hand. It's not just you're going with all your might. You're shouting something. You're saying something. You know, it's all about, probably the same in a boxing ring. You know, when you're boxing somebody, you're not just you're breathing in a certain way. You're chanting. You're shouting something. You're saying something. You know, it's all connected to the ancient traditions, really. And I mean, they've been around thousands and thousands of years. And it is very scientific. But yes, it's not like you say, a lot of flow into another posture. It's a repetition of something. And then you'll move on to another move.
And this is the strength we get in one, like plane of our bodies. I've noticed that it wasn't very easy for me to keep up, really. It's then I'm doing yoga, like the conventional yoga, for years, but to keep up with one movement, just moving the shoulders, keep my hands out for like a minute or two, it requires a quite of strength. Jane, what is about the awakening in Kundalini Yoga? What is it, the awakening?
Well, that is what it is. It's getting this energy which lies dormant in most people.
Okay, so it's,
you know, we're very
it's like opening another door for us, like different understanding, opening the mind to a different, what would you say?
It's about connecting ourselves with ourselves, who we really are as people.
Okay, so
you know, who am I? Am I the person that I've been brought up? And you know, I've got a really good book written by Dr. Joe Dispenza, which you know I'm a massive fan of, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. You know, all your opinions generally of somebody else's opinion that have been taught to you throughout your life. You know, you go to school, you taught this, and then you step back and go, well, actually, how do I really feel about that? You know, listening is about listening to our inner, not inner critic, our inner self, our inner whole person. It's about that, really. So it's about disconnecting from this muddle, this stuff going on all around us, to just ground and go within yourself and listening more to you, yourself, your real needs. You know, like women, for example, you know, being mothers, you know, you're married or whatever, you're there for everybody else. And then a lot of women, they get to a certain age, don't they? And quite often it's menopause. They'll go, actually, there's more to me than this. I want to go on a little self-discovery here. I want to find out who I am and
kind of forgotten about themselves. Yes.
Well, they've never really had that opportunity because they've gone from school to college, university, to getting married, to having children, and now all of a sudden they're 50. And you know, a lot of marriages can break up at that time, can't they? Or go through, you know, all their children go off to university. Women are kind of it's a bit like that. You're waking up who you are. That's really.
That sounds very powerful.
Yeah.
Do you think there are any dangers because it's so powerful? Could there be any danger associated with this awakening?
Oh, I mean, you see things like that, but at the end of the day, what you must do is with anything in life, whether you're going to have filler, you go to somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, okay, I understand. So you basically, you have to be ready and open for it, right?
Well, you might not be ready at the time, but something will lead you to it, and you might dip your toe in a bit, and you might go, oh, well, that was a bit weird. But for some reason, you go back again, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I feel really good. And, you know, I had a client, she's a client and she's been coming, and she said the other day after the last week, she said, I slept for the first time in I can't remember how long. You know, she comes every week and she's off work with stress at the moment, and she said, and I felt amazing. She said, I felt incredible. And then 2 days later she went and had a sports massage with somebody who wasn't particularly nice. She's covered in bruises, but then she felt terrible. So again, you've got to go to somebody that you trust and you resonate with.
Yeah.
You know, with everything.
Okay. So you went with us for the retreat, Wellness and Beauty retreat to Gozo. And that retreat was orientated, the subject of the retreat was mainly detox. Yeah. We had the nutrition according to the detox diet, and we had lots of hiking, but also your yoga was, you had a plan, you had a structured every day for us in order to detoxify the body, the mind, and the soul, right? But also very special what you've done for us was to work one-to-one with everyone. How was that for you? Was that difficult? How did you feel about that?
No, I think that's really important. And, you know, you have to be really, really intuitive, don't you, in what we do, whether it's skin or whatever. You have to be very intuitive towards the people because, and you have to adapt. You know, so you may have a class, I may have a class planned, but then I see what the group is going through with different people. So you think, I'm going to change this. This is what needs to be addressed right now. You know, let's deal with this. And people were coming to me. I mean, people that they came going, oh, I don't know how I'm going to feel about doing some chanting. I don't know how I'm going to feel about doing this, whatever. But once I explained the science and what is going on within the body when we do these things, it's not woo-woo, you know, it's science. I'm all about science and fact.
It is something special about the Kundalini, exactly. This is different to, I mean, there's always something that we manifest while we're singing, while we're saying something, we tend to manifest what we're saying. I mean, we attract what we believe, we attract what we say. But with Kundalini, we're saying words that we don't really understand. There's a particular language to it. Yeah. And, you know, some of the people might feel like a little bit, oh, I don't know what I'm saying, actually.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yes.
But I say the proof is in the pudding, and speaking to the guys on the group that all came thinking, oh, I don't know how I'm going to feel. They all came to me and said, wow. I mean, Richard, you know, he came and he was like, I was seeing things up here and this is, I've drawn it, you know, what does it mean? And It's like that's your higher being. That's your
So there's actually Kundalini is approved by science, did you say?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
it's very scientific. It's very scientific.
That's a very cool stuff. So Jane, we're going now. We are still during organizing the next retreat to Morocco and Sahara, now very different, and there the subject is going to be about overcoming challenges, like getting out of comfort zone. Already the environment suggests that subject, but your work will be focused on finding the inner teacher within us. Could you give us a hint? What do you have in store for us?
I mean,
just
at the end of the
don't give everything.
I mean, it's nice to be at, some people may come that already meditate and may not meditate. I mean, for me, to get people to be able to switch off, basically, and to learn something different. And to me, the proof is in the pudding. It's about how you feel, isn't it? So teach them a different technique of meditation, something that they can go home and continue to use. You know, different breath techniques. You know, if somebody's suffering with something, you can do different techniques to calm yourself down or to lift yourself up. But again, whatever the subject is of the retreat, again, you know, there might be some times we go, actually, I think today we need to do this today because this is what is coming up within the group. Yeah. Because, you know, like we said, when they come to us for a skin concern, actually what they're having something different to what they booked in for. So again, it's about working intuitively with the people, listening to them and listening to what they need. So
absolutely,
I like to play each day by ear, really, and I plan that day what I'm going to do the evening and what I'm going to do the next day, so it all flows together. So it's teaching people some different skills that they can go home. And then, you know, some of the people have already joined Kundalini Yoga groups in their towns, or they're doing things on YouTube. So it's taking something home with you and keeping it, like with the food and the affirmations and things.
That brings me of something. You also doing a small retreats in Chichester, like one day yoga retreats, and so will they be able to continue with you after the retreat? So, you know, anyone, if
absolutely
it's new for them, you know, on a retreat, they can easily access you on Facebook group or on Instagram, right? And get an advice. So just keep on exercising with you, keep on going with the Kundalini, so they can feel much better in everyday routine, and just keep it what we bring it to them on the retreat. That's amazing. That's great. So Jane, final 3 questions, maybe 4. Okay. Now, just to let everyone to get to know better, tell me please, what is your motto? Your life motto, like your catchphrase expressing beliefs. What would it be?
Well, for me, the one thing is the highest form of intelligence is to observe yourself without judgment. That's one big, powerful thing that I love, and for me, and still I rise. That's another that's another line from a lovely song or poem, by Maya Angelou. And still I rise. Doesn't matter what happens in life, you rise. I can't think of anything else. Those 2 sort of stick in my mind, really. Nerve cells that fire together, wire together.
Yeah, so that's amazing. That's great. So you sound like you know, really spiritual person. when you work every day, you have your own routine. I know you go to bed very early, but what might people be interested in? Like, would you describe yourself as like strictly a spiritual person, like a monk, like a yoga monk? Sorry if I express it wrongly. Funny. Or are you just simple, normal, outgoing girl? Or is it maybe going together? Does it go together?
Yeah. Well, to me, spiritual is about being the best version of yourself that you can be, with kindness, with love, isn't it? Yeah. Love thy neighbor. That to me is spiritual. Saturday, I'm out, I'm partying, I'm dancing, I'm on the floor, I'm there. I love my music. My music is my drug. That's another thing. When I can go into myself, you know, we spend a lot of time talking in our job, don't we? Yeah. I like to dance. The music's there, the energy of the people, the atmosphere, the feel good. I love to do that. You know, I love to go out for dinner. I'm a fun loving person, but I love spending time on my own equally. But no, I love people. I find people fascinating.
So it's about the balancing your life all the time. And what is your favorite kind of music?
Oh, I love ska, reggae, funk, disco, soul, house music.
We haven't been to a party together yet. So
I know a lot of DJ friends. I know everybody on the music scene where I live, and it's and I've just started African drumming, which I love as well.
Amazing! Oh my God. So one thing I remember, like during the retreat on Gozo, when I got very surprised of your person while we were doing live action role-playing game, and we dressed up and we had the scenario written by Michael, and you came out there like a really different person, and it was so amazing, so honest, and so easy, like so cool. I couldn't believe it. Like, that's not the same Jane sitting there doing you know. But no, that was
I loved it. Yeah.
Jane, one more question about the book. Could you remind us your favorite books, so perhaps after everyone is watching, they can maybe get more information out of it, like go a little bit deeper into the subject by starting reading the book, which is?
Yeah, I would probably, I mean, the first really spiritual book that I read about energy and so forth, which was written by a medical doctor, is Creating Perfect Health by Deepak Chopra. You know, he was the first person that was in, because he's medical as well, you know, so and now it's Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's a neuroscientist. The books that I really love, the one I'm reading at the moment, Becoming Supernatural, where he shows you brain scans. You know, he goes to Harvard University, he backs it up because there's always the skeptics. You know, oh, yoga, it's a bit of la-la, it's a bit of this, all that chanting, it's all that. It's science, like I said. And this man takes it to that level to show the proof. And it's great because he goes to Harvard. And there's pictures. I'm going on a workshop with him next week. Now, his work is Kundalini. It's the energy is what he talks about. It's called, in my book, it's Kundalini. It's the same. So, yeah, that for me, it's that. And there's the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, again, by Deepak Chopra, which, again, it's a simple, easy read.
Very nice.
Louise Hay, How to Heal Your Life. That's another brilliant book, which I've had since 89. Another fantastic book, easy to pick up. Yeah.
Great. So what is the last tip that you would start off everyone? Like, what would you recommend to do, like, for every day?
Tell yourself you love yourself. Look in the mirror.
Oh, that's great. When they get up, the first 10 minutes when you wake up is the most important one, right?
Gratitude. What are you grateful for? Thank the bed that you just slept in. Thank it.
Okay, cool. Well,
you know, thank the waking up. Thank the birds. just be grateful. Go to bed with gratitude, wake up with gratitude, then you will attract gratitude.
This is great. Jane, thank you so much for today.
You're welcome.
So you must be tired because you just finished work in a salon. I don't want to keep you for longer. It was amazing to have you here.
It was lovely.
I hope people will join us on a retreat, and I heartfully want to invite everyone to visit our website on www.perpetualaesthetics.co.uk, where you can find the link, Am I Eligible? So when you click that link, it will take you to a type form. Please answer a couple of questions, send that form to me so we can take it from there. And we're really looking forward to chat with you soon. And hopefully we can spend together a couple of adventurous days and learn together with Jane, learn more about ourselves, reboot, recharge, relax, and come back even stronger so we can hit the world again, and do what we deserve and get what we deserve from life.
Exactly.
Jane, thank you so much once again. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you.